We got a breakout above 15,000 on Friday, and we're getting follow through today. As I have noted in some of my previous videos, I think 15,000 is that line in the sand that once that gets broken, we're probably going to start the final melt-up phase of the bubble. During this phase, it's not impossible to see even 100% gain in literally in 3 to 6 months. Price should stretch insanely far above the 200-day moving average. Right now we're only about 12% above the 200-day moving average, so nothing extreme yet. As most of you know, years ago I started predicting that 10,000 was going to be a piece of cake and that 20,000 wasn't out of the question. Well, we're breaking through 15,000. 20,000 is looking very likely, and I think once we get to 17 or 18,000, then I think it's going to start to pull like a magnet, and we'll get there. And considering that the bear market that came before this was the second worst in history, I think there's a good chance this could be one of, if not the largest bubble in history. So 20,000 may end up being a modest prediction. We may, the NASDAQ could maybe go to 25 or even 30,000. When a bubble gets going, it's all about unlimited liquidity, which the central banks are providing, and irrational behavior by unsophisticated retail investors willing to pay any price to get into a market. As long as the NASDAQ holds above this 15,000, then I'm going to assume that the final parabolic phase is starting. I will caution people. I know a lot of people are going to want to leverage up way too much during this phase, and the problem is as the bubble gets more mature, it's going to get more volatile, which means it's going to be really hard or almost impossible to hold on to that leverage. During the last bubble in 2000, we had two corrections in the NASDAQ of over 10%, and they occurred literally in a matter of days. In real time, that's going to feel like the bubble just popped, and you're almost certainly going to sell and get knocked out. So I would expect the same thing is going to happen as we progress here. This is going to get really volatile as traders start to become nervous and they start to take profits. Smart money starts to get on the sidelines so they're not caught when the bubble pops. So something to be aware of as this progresses. It's going to almost certainly is going to get very volatile and very hard to hold on to, even in unleveraged positions, much less in heavily leveraged positions.